Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Roleplay Central. And today we're a little later than we wanted to be, but because the episode's supposed to be out tomorrow at the time of recording, but we're going to make it happen. We're going to go over Planescape today like we promised last time, and we've all at least seen a little bit of it and made notes on what we could.
We've all gone through various amounts of it.
Yeah.
But we're going to...
Sorry.
Right.
I went over the lore. That's
yeah.
Well, hey, anything is good.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about something with this amount of history, right? Almost all the information out of here you could get from a Google search.
But the lore is freaking cool, though. I think
but that's a knock on the book, right?
Yeah.
You can't get the monster stat blocks or the adventure from it, but most of the setting information you could probably just research.
Yeah, because Planescape is already a thing. It's already in a previous edition of D&D.
Well, I'm sure you can find the monster stat blocks online. At some point,
Wikidots.
And there's probably plenty of people that have already adjusted creatures from then to now, to 5e standards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, you guys want to talk about the monk first?
Yeah, first we're going to go over a thing of ours called the Four Elements Monk.
Yes. So this is an update on the way of the Four Elements from the Player's Handbook, which is the most unpopular version.
Yeah.
Or I mean the most unpopular subclass from that edition.
Is it on par with how much people hate Artificer? I wonder.
A lot of people love Artificer. I'm the one that hates Artificer.
I've heard everyone I hear doesn't like it.
Most of the people, most of the people, right? And the funny thing is most people don't like it for different reason than I don't like it. Because there's a lot of people who don't like it because of the technology and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Right, but I don't like it because of the ease, how easy it makes it to get magic items. Right, and I think we've talked about that before. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, we talked about it when we were talking about bastions. Easy
you just make one in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you wake up, you just make a magic item.
Yeah, that's how they're moving.
The one time that I played it, the DM that I was playing it with, he's like, when you start making magic items, it's going to take you a week.
Yeah,
and
then
flush it out.
Another thing that's
this day to do this.
Another thing that turned.
And then you got to try to imbue that weapon with magic. And
then another thing that I think is really dumb is that they they emphasize that you use your tools to cast spells or build stuff, right? But what they say is you do all this work and then aside from that you just create it with your magic tools.
Yeah,
when it happens, you just do it.
Yeah, anything magic should at least involve some sort of enchanting step where you take it to somebody specialized in enchanting.
Or you spend the time and the money.
It costs a certain amount of gold, takes a certain amount of time.
But that's the point of the artificers, that you are the enchanter.
Actually, I just found I found a version of artificer that I like, right? And that's it's by people called I think they're called. It might be Kibbles Tasty. I think it is. I think it's their inventor. They called the class the inventor, and you can get it for free online. But anyways, I think it's a way better version of Artificer. I forget all the details.
Yeah, it reminds
me. And with the magic on that is they did limit how many magic items you can actually create.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Basically, in the rules, it says that.
No, I know that.
If you make an excess, the other ones just kind of fizzle. And
I know that, but it's still you just touch an item and it's magical until you say it's not.
Well, and it's kind of how they're heading, what they're heading towards too with bastions. We were talking in a previous episode about the Unearthed Arcana that has the bastions, and they're moving towards giving magic items super super quick and easy.
Yeah, you can
the thing I wish they would have done with it, more so, at least the Artificer anyway, is Sorry, we're kind of going off.
Yeah, no, it's fine. They're getting
okay.
Yeah, no.
Like, I think it would have been cool if they had more so if they had taken that chance to flush out like crafting.
Yeah, yeah. Give you an entire like, like they could
like how because then they could have
give you a crafting guide.
This is how you craft bombs, or this is how you craft X, Y,
just
Z,
give you a crafting guide,
and then like.
Well, I mean, they
because I would have if I was still playing that with those guys, I probably would have been making like explosive arrows and stuff more along that lines to kind of help the party more than really. I mean,
but yeah,
I probably wouldn't have gone much into
another
the
thing,
magic portion of it.
One thing from the book that one of the books we're gonna review next time is called Valdis, and it's another class called the Craftsman, and that's another version of Artificer that I think is better than the Artificer. So like there are already two versions that are better.
Yeah. And I think maybe we can look at those two versions.
Don't
we have a couple of like work in progress concepts on our
and
document?
I guess if you think about it though as well is if you were to make like a mech kind of a thing, that's technically a magic item, right?
Yeah.
So if you were to make like a stone or like a metal golem sort of type thing, I don't know how else to explain that.
Yeah.
It's a mech.
Yeah.
It's
a mech.
Yeah.
Essentially.
What do they call them in anime? They call them like
Gundam.
Yeah. Well, except for you usually control those from the inside.
Yeah, they look like Power Rangers thing.
I don't know much about Gundam. Yeah. I know that like the Power Rangers.
Yeah, they look like the what are they called? Zords or something?
Yeah.
Megazords from Power Rangers? Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it would have been more cool if they had gone more into like the crafting aspect of it, and given you more of a in-depth sort of dive into like this is how you could craft this or this or this is these are the components that you need to craft.
Yeah.
This, and it's like with like the alchemy. That's another thing that I wish they would expand on more.
Yeah.
So that you could create your own potions.
I know. I literally have.
Like, why can we not just have Skyrim as an Indian?
Well, I literally have.
But give us a list of like, okay, we need this, and this to create.
That's why so many.
This is how much gold it's going to cost.
That's why so many third-party.
This is how long it's going to take you.
That's why so many third-party creators like make a potion system.
And so I wish that they. I wish that they would have created something like that because
I have like alchemy, 6 different potion creation PDFs I got them from third parties in one folder.
But you have because you have like the alchemist's tools. You have all the stuff that you're supposedly able to use, but it's like other than that, there's no direction on like how like what type of plants am I supposed to look for or like what.
Yeah.
Like, is the DM just supposed to make all that up?
I guess so.
But
yeah, there should be a crafting system and an alchemy system.
Absolutely.
100%.
Anyway, back to the...
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we'll get back on topic.
So,
that's what we want this podcast to be, is any sort of off-tangent topics you want to talk about.
A podcast should be a conversation.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Exactly what it is. Yep.
So, at 3rd level, you get spellcasting, and with the same progression as you would if you as you would with like Eldritch Knight and Arcane Trickster, right? Same progression because it's the 3rd caster.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you get spellcasting. You learn the control flames, gust, shape water, and mold earth cantrips because this is meant to be like all 4 elements, right? So you learn those 4 cantrips. You get spellcasting. You get somatic spellcasting, which is a little bit different. All of your 4 elements spells only require a somatic component.
Oh, that's cool.
And they require one, and they only require one. So, like, literally, it's all like movements, like in Avatar. That's what I wanted to give that vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Anyways, wisdom is your spellcasting modifier. And that's all at 3rd. And then at 6th, whenever you cast a spell that requires an action, you can make an unarmed attack as a bonus action. I wanted to give them some like extra combat utility at 6th.
Yeah.
And then at 11th level, you get 2 more cantrips. You either learn you learn 2 from 2 cantrips from this list: Firebolt, Ray of Frost, Thunderclap, and Magic Stone. So yeah, you learn 2 more cantrips. So you have 6 cantrips at level 11. And then level 17, you can cast each of the following spells once for 3 ki. They recharge on a rest. Investiture of Air, Flame, Ice, and Stone. So I mean, I went pretty heavy on the spell casting across the whole thing, right? But I mean, they did with the original, but I think this is better, right? Because it doesn't tie the casting of the spells to ki, right? Which is already a really a heavy resource. Yeah, it's like they don't need more things that cost ki.
Yeah.
And it was already it was probably the most ki heavy subclass.
Remind me what it was originally, in the class they released.
They had various special moves, right? But the special moves were all spells, and they were all costed really weird. Like some things costed way too much, and some things costed not very much at all, right? And it only let you learn 3 of them. And one of them, it told you what it was. So it only let you choose 2. So you got you got basically 2 choices across the whole thing.
That's dumb.
And the rest of the, yeah.
Yeah, I can see why people did not like that, because that's kind of weird.
But yeah, what do you guys think about that subclass?
It seems like,
I mean, I think it's better. And anybody who's familiar with Nerd Immersion, do you guys ever watch Nerd Immersion? Ted? He came up with a version, with a version of this subclass, but and I took a few things from his 3rd level features and from his 17th level feature. So this was sort of inspired by his. So I got to credit him, right? And this is available on our blog.
Yeah,
that's where I have it, and it's on our Pinterest and our blog.
And you were saying when on our way over here, it's one of the most liked ones that we have.
Yeah, it's one of our most popular posts.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, people want to see it.
Yeah.
The thing I like is more uses for ki, even though it's a dangerously small resource, but it's still good to have extra options for ki. So.
Well, I mean, it technically doesn't give you any extra options for ki, but it frees up your ki for using it for the other things because you're not worrying about, which probably makes it a little.
Also, that I don't know what level it was, but the one where you can attack as bonus action, that one's insane.
Yeah, well, I figured most spells are actions, so it's and monks rely really heavily on their bonus actions, so
yeah.
Yeah, and all the spells, the whole spell list is in the document, and all the spells are elemental themed spells, so it makes sense.
Sweet. So yeah, check that out on our blog. You should be able to find it pretty easy. Just go to metagamespress.com and click on blog.
Yep.
But now, we're gonna get to
what do you want to start with?
The main meat of the podcast, which
I've already reviewed it in the first minute. I told you.
I mean,
gave it a bad review in
the first note I have is on the character options, so maybe that book we start with.
So Sigil and the Outlands.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll start, I guess.
Do you want to look at it?
In terms of character options, there's really not much.
No.
It's 2 backgrounds, 7 feats, 2 spells, and 3 magic items.
There's more feats than I thought there were, but yeah, 7 feats.
And the magic items are really weird. They're just portal based. They're all either and the spells is opening a portal or relocating one or closing one. I think those are the 2 spells that they give you. I might be a little bit off on that,
which makes sense from the background.
Yeah. So I mean, all the stuff in there is really thematic and the subclasses and the feats and stuff For this setting, it's really thematic.
It's just weird to me that, for Planescape in such a world with so much magic in it, and specific teleportation magic. They didn't make some sort of like
well,
class or subclass for it.
There's a lot of
understanding. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good.
You go first.
No. I was just gonna say that spells. A lot of different kinds of spells work differently, especially conjuration magic and portal magic work differently in the planes.
Yeah.
Right. Like they have, like, and the old books, the old Planescape books, they actually like they detail out what the differences are for the spells. Right.
Yeah. But if you try, like, for instance, if you try in the remind me of the name of the area with all the doors, the City of Doors. What's it called? Sigil.
Sigil. Yeah.
In Sigil, if you use any sort of teleportation magic, like, or not teleportation magic, but teleportation to different planes, then it just goes right back to Sigil, and you don't go anywhere.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
I love that. I must have missed that
part. I love that. That's one of the first things in the description of the magic system, how it works, and I love how that.
What were you going to say, John?
Forces you to use the doors.
Oh, well, just from my understanding of Planescape, is that it's...
What books do you want?
Essentially... Oh, I was just going to hand that back to you. It's essentially just like an accumulation of basically all other planes. It's where basically everybody can come, they can meet up. You know, you'll have angels, demons, creatures of all sorts, like everybody.
Yeah. Ideally,
and they all technically are supposed to live in harmony, essentially, in this place. From what I understand, I'm not sure how powerful, like the Lady of Pain, because she's the head honcho, right?
She's the leader, but
I don't know how powerful she is, but I'm sure that she has some major influence on that specific part. But that's probably why there's not a whole lot of extra magic, like different magic types and whatever else. Is because it's just an accumulation of everything else. Just
Well, they mainly mention teleportation magic and planar travel because that's what it deals with.
That's what it is, essentially. Because you have to travel planes in order to...
Ideally, I treat this whole world as a gateway in campaigns when people try to travel to different dimensions and stuff like that. I'd be going through Sigil and expanding the campaign that way.
Well, and I think it's basically just...
It's a really good campaign setting.
It's like the... If you think of all... I don't know, in my head, I guess, it's just, you know, here's all the other planes, and then here's Sigil.
Yeah, right? It's in the middle.
It's in the middle of everything else.
It's a donut at the top of a spire.
And then there's all the other planes and every other, you know, whatever else.
And this also reminds me of... It kind of reminds me of...
the center point.
Yeah, I really like it. I really like it as like a campaign setting in general, right? Because you could run a lot of kinds of games out of this. Like one of the books that they released, I think it was last year, was Keys from the Golden Vault. And, that's like it's basically a heist anthology adventure, right? And I think like this setting would be really good to run that kind of a game, right? So like you're a group of people who seek out items and do heists and basically retrieve those items.
I think it'd be interesting to do something like that, like you work under a Lady Pain.
Yeah, I have a question to ask you guys. I don't know the answer to this because maybe I just skipped over it when I was reading the books themselves. But will people like live in Sigil, or is it more of a place you just go to?
I think some people live in it.
Okay. Yeah, because I was wondering because like it's interesting if people are living in Sigil and like how like it looks like based on the art how everything's just like looks drastically different the further you go towards one planar gate.
Did you guys see the map?
Other. Yeah.
There's a map, John.
Like living in Sigil would just be so weird. I feel.
Oh well, I mean, I kind of saw like an overview of it. Look at the map. Like I know.
But what I was going to say is this kind of reminds me, in a funny way, of the Shazam movie, where they have all the flying doors everywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, that's and
that map on the back is...
Yeah, I know, it's a cool map. Mm-hmm. And how all the like I forget what they call them, but those towns like that relate to each plane, right? They if they align too much with their like alignment, right, that they're associated with,
Yeah.
right. If they align too much, they actually get sucked in. And they have to start all over.
On one side. If you notice that.
What?
Their map is ripped on one side.
I accidentally ripped it. It's my fault.
At least it was you and not me.
That would be a really interesting...
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about it, because you know how some people, they start their campaigns in a jail?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'd be interesting if you started out in the jail there.
Yeah. In the jail. That would be more interesting than the hook.
You have to escape a whole plane.
Like, you don't remember anything
Yeah.
except for that you grew up in, like, this, you know, you were in this city
It's
at
funny
the last time,
because-
and then they, like, transferred
It's
you
funny
to
because-
this jail, and you're just like...
It's funny because that's actually a way better like starting point for this adventure.
Yeah.
Right. Because the starting point for the adventure book is that you wake up with amnesia in a mortuary. Right, you just wake up in a mortuary with amnesia, and you have to explore the mortuary. But I think waking up without your memory in a prison would be way more interesting.
But here's the thing about that, though.
That would be way more interesting.
I think
being
the
in
whole
like a normal.
It's like you don't remember what you did,
setting.
but you're in trouble in Sigil.
I think the whole amnesia part of that is done too much though. Like that seems like it's starting off knowing where you were, and you're like, okay, I don't know how I got here, maybe, but like the whole amnesia on memories and like
Well, and I think like in a setting like this, it would kind of almost make sense too, like because
it does make sense.
I wouldn't assume that you would know how the heck you got here, right? Unless you were actively knew how to get to.
But yeah,
Sigil.
I think the prison idea is a better idea than their idea.
And that's actually working off of how you guys say it would work good in the campaign. Like some of the monsters even work towards forming a good campaign.
You were wanted at galactic level, essentially.
Another
and you
thing
got caught, and that's where you ended up.
another kind of campaign that you could run with this setting is like a Men in Black kind of a style of a campaign.
Yeah. So
you work for like the police force that's supposed to like kick people out and like import people,
Right.
and you just have to handle all the aliens.
They're all monsters. Well,
Yeah.
It would be funny if there was like a Trask living in there.
Yeah. In like a skin suit, just like the cockroach guy in the first
Well, no, he's just a Trask. Just a full-on Trask. Just living in here.
He's got a license only to be able to be in certain places. He has to show his license.
This is just like in Star Trek where they have that giant planet that's just a huge like glass sphere.
Yeah.
It's like, but there's all kinds of portals and areas in here. It's just pure chaos. Yeah. But anyways, let's talk about the adventure module. That's what I have up next. I'll start off again. I think it's solid. Like I only skimmed over it. I didn't read it in depth.
We can't really review the adventure too deep because we didn't play it.
Yeah. But looking over it, and even skimming over it, you can notice immediately there's not much in the way of encounters. So you have hooks and stat blocks for.
There are random encounter tables in this book.
Yeah, that's the part that I really like.
Which is really cool. They got random encounter tables for every single.
But like, if they didn't do that, it would be kind of dull.
Yeah.
Whereas if like
they should,
it's good that they included the tables. I love that they included it.
These should have been the same book.
Yeah,
that should have been one book.
Mm-hmm.
The adventure book and the setting book.
Yeah.
Right. So they give you the.
And also kind of the layout,
so
the way they organized it.
Yeah, they give you
what's
the books,
happening in this,
and they give you the adventures and the encounters.
So like, what's weird is they give you an adventure hook or two in the adventure, but then they go in the setting book, and there's more hooks for each individual plane. It's kind of weird.
These two should have been the same book.
Yeah.
But they...
Well, and they do try to weave everything like pretty open-ended almost.
Yeah, this is a very much do whatever you want type of a setting. Like
I would totally run adventures in this setting. I think that's the coolest part of this thing is the setting and some of the monsters.
Yeah.
Right.
If you've ever wanted to go to different planes and stuff, this is the setting to go for. Like,
and I was thinking the other day, you guys know what West Marches is? Like a West Marches style campaign.
Oh wait, I remember you telling me one time you were at the theater.
It's like you have basically a wilderness around you, right? Mm-hmm. It's the idea, and it's a way of running a campaign setting. But anyways, you have like a wilderness that's unexplored, and you have like a safe location, right? And so you're basically exploring from the safe location, right? You're exploring out and doing like adventures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it would be fun if like you were like isolated somehow in like on like a demi plane or something like that adjacent to this, and you could and you explored the multiverse right from there. That would be cool.
Yeah,
it would be like Stargate.
Stargate.
Stargate is basically West Marches.
Yeah,
that's the concept.
But that's a good way to organize a D&D campaign. But, if you're a new DM,
West Marches,
bunch of like mission style things.
You just have
Maze Runner.
Yeah. You run so many games in this.
That's what I thought about as soon as you started saying, there's a forest, and you start here. This is your safe space.
And that's basically West Marches. It's like you start from a safe place and you like explore out.
There's a random human in there. His name's Newt.
That would be an interesting way to do that too. Though, is like have it ever changing as well.
Yeah.
So, like, even though you've explored this area, it could have changed a little bit.
Yeah.
I also kind of think like a cool way to get into this area is like kind of like a Chronicles of Narnia thing, where it's like a random wardrobe accesses this weird
they're actually
the weirdest place is you walk through some random door in the middle of nowhere and it gets you into Sigil. Like,
there's just like
and then you go
there's a department in the city for lost children.
You've been there for 20 years and you go back and I'm a child again. What?
There's a department for lost children, and there's a department for like aliens that want to migrate in there.
And someone on the intercom, please have your name and number ready at the gate.
Yeah.
We do not want more lost children here.
You could run almost every idea in like a setting like this, right? Because there's just so many possibilities.
Yeah. But also one more thing about the adventure modules, in terms of how I know I'm kind of harping on how bad stuff is, but like there's only what I notice is there's like some stat blocks, just some. Well, I mean, not a ton. I know, yes, but
in like, the same slipcase, there's a whole bunch.
Well, no, I know, but like without the encounter tables,
I know what you mean.
Without the encounter tables, there, you wouldn't have much of a thing to go for, and there's only a couple of other skill checks in each chapter.
Yeah, I know.
So it's kind of if you take out, like, it feels like the encounter table is just like they realized at the last second, oh wait a minute. This needs more. Let's just throw on some tables.
I like the whole like glitch idea that like reality's somehow fragmented, so you actually create three like versions of the same character, right, from alternate universes, and you're basically you switch at various times. I don't remember how it details how you switch, but yeah, you can switch between different versions of yourself, and like basically you're trying to realign sort of reality.
This would be a wild magic sorcerer's dream world. But let's talk about my favorite part of this whole
cool.
three part thing is the bestiary. think, in my opinion, they hit it out of the park. These are all some crazy good, crazy good monsters, and it cool introduces us to a really cool set of creatures called time dragons.
Yeah, time dragons.
Yeah, and you have the whole set of dragons. You have the wormlings, the adult, the you know.
Yeah, I like that they do that.
That's what I was thinking of.
What were you thinking of?
Remember when we were talking about the artificer?
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying golems. Constructs. That's what I was thinking.
Constructs, yeah.
That's the right word. Sorry.
A little bit of magic blood in.
What were you saying, Charlotte?
No, I was just saying time dragons look super sweet. And just hearing the name time dragon is also something cool.
The only problem I have with it is that they should have made it bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They should have combined these two books and made that like 30 or 40 pages longer.
Another thing I like about that, the reason I like it so much is because almost every creature has an additional like companion type of creature go along with it, and there's like a group of like 2 or 3 with each one.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. So like when you see they'll put almost not a swarm, but like something similar to like a group of these creatures, and then they'll stat them individually.
I didn't realize that. It gives you an encounter table in the on the DM screen.
Wow. So it's in the book and in here. That's cool.
Is that same table in the book?
It
could be a different table.
No, the one in the book is based on planes.
Yeah, this is just a generic one, I think.
Yeah, I think the ones in there are based on planes. So you actually have more. I didn't actually look at the DM screen, so that's also a plus. I guess it's,
I really like that they did that with the DM screen. They did half of it is setting information.
Yeah.
And it's stuff to help the DM. And the other half is the regular stuff.
I didn't actually think that
the other half is the normal
that the DM screen would provide much, so I didn't look at it. But now that I see both of these two things, that makes the settings book a lot better.
These Dark Weavers.
What do you see?
Sick.
What is it?
Dark Weavers.
Dark Weavers. What does that one look like? Oh, it's like some spider.
I'll tell you what my favorite monster in there is look up the Demodand, Chateau Demodand. That's the one.
Chateau Demodand?
It's the biggest Demodand, but it's what they do is super fun.
Demodand.
They live in the prison plane.
Is that? Oh, really?
They inhabit the prison plane, and they go and visit the material world to coax people over into the prison plane to keep there forever for evil purposes.
It probably has an index or something.
I was looking for.
The fact that their sole enjoyment in life, their sole hobby is just to go and convince people to come to this prison plane, and they're going to imprison you forever.
Demodand?
Yeah. The Chateau, it's like looks like a caster one. Demodand. That's just a cool name too. But specifically, this type of Demodand is the only one that visits the material plane.
Oh, really?
So that's the one. It's like it looks super creepy
which
too.
One is it?
It's the last one. That one, right there. The Chateau Demodand.
So it imprisons.
It looks like a more ugly version of.
Yeah, show Tyler.
So where's the prison plane?
One on the left.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
it looks like a demon.
And he's that's the kind of creature that'll go to and convince people.
Where's the prison plane? Oh, I'm holding this.
I don't know what to tell you.
That's the wrong side. I think I might have risked
it. It is one of the many doors. In Sigil.
Is there a prison plane?
Yeah, it's somewhere on there. I know it's on the back. I see it right there. On the back.
Oh, you see it?
Top left. You'll see the prison plane.
Really? Oh, prison.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's the prison is in Sigil. Okay. I thought I was looking for another plane.
Well, I think there is
But
a plane that they take that it mentions specifically, but
Oh, really?
To
Yeah.
because it's a fiend,
Yeah.
and their sole enjoyment is
So
imprisoning
it's
people.
yeah. That's cool. What else do you see?
There's also some I can't remember what they're called, but they look like street thugs. Like
Yeah.
they're really cool.
Yeah, I know. There's some pretty
It's
cool
near the back of the
stuff
book, I
in there.
think.
I mean,
but-
overall, I think it's a good product.
yeah.
It's probably worth buying. I don't know if it's worth buying for the $60 price tag for what you get.
And definitely not worth the collector's
you have to
edition.
think.
Well,
you have to
unless
think
you
like
like
the
the-
standard book is going to run you like
Yeah.
35, 40
Yeah.
for just a regular.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'd be,
No, I'm
I'd
talking
be
about.
happy
I'm
with
talking
paying,
about
like,
for like the amount of product that you're getting.
it's more of like a
because-
$40-$50.
Because you're essentially paying $20 per book, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've heard people say that it's probably worth like 45 or 50. Like,
I could see.
I think
50.
that's probably closer to what it's worth,
I could see 50.
right? 45, 50, somewhere between.
But
there.
you're also getting. I mean,
but it is
at
a
least
good.
with this, you're getting like the DM.
It is a
screen
good
and stuff like
product.
that, too. So
Yeah.
It is a good product.
And I think this DM
The DM
screen's
screen is
one of the
really
bigger ones. Like, I don't know if the previous DM screens are 4 panels. I think the others
They
have
are
been 3.
I think they're 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say because this thing's
Yeah, I'm pretty
huge.
sure they're 4.
but- yeah. Yeah, I guess it is. I just am remembering DM screens wrong because I don't use this one. I use this one
Yeah.
with my own
That one's
information.
3. Yeah.
But yeah. Technically, you could say it's 4 because it's got a longer panel in the middle. But yeah, I don't. Would you add anything to this?
No. So to the DM screen.
Yeah, to this, like any offhand information that you'd need to know
No.
add to this.
I think that's a good amount of like plain information for a DM to like need to look at, right?
Yeah, we should go over the time dragon.
The time
For sure.
dragon. Here,
We should go over
open it
the
up.
adult
Okay.
time dragon.
Yeah. But
Fill for time while I find it.
go cut for time. No, I'm just,
Up for time.
yes.
I don't know what to fill it with.
These are the street thugs that I was saying.
Oh yeah.
The lawbenders.
Oh yeah.
They look like
Fraternity of Lawbenders.
they look like just
cool.
random like
They're just
people
yeah.
on the street.
They're just
like, hey,
a
come over
street
here.
gang, yeah.
Especially that guy in the middle. Like,
Yeah.
tiefling. Okay, adult time dragon. So if you want to see what they look like, I guess I might be able to put a picture up on the video.
Yeah,
but
just put one up on the video.
we'll show you
Yeah.
this.
Mhm.
They look sick.
Yeah.
So let's see. The layer action, or no, not layer actions. The reactions for this for an adult time dragon is some of the craziest I've
The
seen.
reactions?
Yeah.
Really?
So one of them is slowing time as a reaction, and that. Listen to this. Immediately after a creature the dragon can see ends its turn, the dragon targets a creature it can see within 60 feet of itself that is weakened by its time breath. Until the weakened effect ends on the target, its speed becomes 0 and the speed can't increase.
So it can just...
So it locks you down.
Yeah, it can just lock you down.
And
If it affects you by its time breath, so you better make the saves.
yeah. And this time breath is a long ability and recharges on 5 or 6. It exhales a wave of shimmering light in a 60-foot cone. Non-magical objects and vegetation in that area that aren't being worn or carried crumble to dust. So essentially speed their way up through time and just become a bunch of rubble.
Yeah, if you have
And-
any old party members,
Yeah.
they're kind of screwed.
And
If you have an Aarakocra,
Each creature in the area has to make a DC 20 Constitution saving throw.
It's a good way to get rid of your flying party members that you don't want to play with.
So here's the cool part about that, though, is that so on a failed save, the creature takes 36 force damage and is magically weakened by its desynchronized. As it's desynchronized from the time stream. While the creature is in this state, attack rolls against it have advantage, and it has the poison condition. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage only. A weakened creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns. But another really, really crazy...
Why would it give poison?
I think it's just the effect that it was going for, because the poison condition just gives you disadvantage on all of your ability checks.
They could have invented a time-related condition, but that's just another thing.
But I think they just wanted to get across that's the thing that's happening to you.
Yeah,
right, you're getting disadvantage.
And here's how this thing lives. So it's already got a 19 armor class, which is already hard to hit. And if you're going
at the level you're fighting
it probably is not too bad.
It's not too bad. That's pretty good.
Here's Time Slip as a reaction. The dragon halves the damage it takes from an attack made against it, provided it can see the attacker. The dragon can then immediately teleport, along with any equipment it is wearing or carrying, up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space it can see.
Oh, that's cool.
It just says, nope, and...
Yeah, it's a pretty cool dragon.
So you blind it?
What are its condition immunities? Is it immune to blind?
Condition immunities. It does not have any conditions.
It doesn't have any conditions. So you can blind it.
It has blind sight 60 feet.
Oh, dang it. You can't.
And dark vision 120 feet. Passive perception is 25.
Hit it in the head really hard.
It knows all languages.
Blind it, hit it in the head really, really hard, and try to convince your DM that would have knocked off its blindness. Like, that would have confused it.
It's another funny thing that dragons, they typically know their language they come from, but this one knows all languages. A time dragon knows every single language. But yeah, I thought those were super fun to see.
Because I would assume that they live to be
you could say anything you want about a time dragon and it'd probably be true.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But I like how they're leaning into time, because that's something that's not really covered in D&D. Is chronomancy and stuff like that.
Yeah,
there's people that have made stuff for it, like Critical Role, like you're saying, but it's still very underexplored.
Yeah.
So that is Planescape.
That might be it.
We didn't really get, like we said, a huge in-depth read on it, but we each took a chance at skimming through the books, and that's what we gathered from it. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below and on the comments of the podcast on the RSS feed, wherever you're seeing this. And let us know what you think. But that is probably going to be it for today, right?
It's good.
Yeah.
That's the review.
Yeah. It's good. You should go pick it up.
It's not the best, but it's good.
Is it worth it buying the collector's edition, Tyler?
Not the collector's edition. Definitely
is the art not a pull enough for you to buy it? Okay.
The art is not worth $30. I've seen way prettier art for free.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is it for this episode of the podcast. Thanks everyone for listening and watching.
7 out of 10.
We'll be back.
What is it out of 10?
Yeah. I guess we'll get that before we close. Drum roll.
7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I'd say probably 7 out of 10.
Schuyler?
That's fair.
I'm in the middle, 5 or 6. I really didn't like how little about how little I got in the adventure. I didn't fully read it, but
it's just how skinny books are.
The adventure
Out of the Abyss is nothing like the whole Underdark book. Out of the Abyss is insane. That thing is awesome.
But the adventure book specifically, that was a thing that we couldn't really do a good review on, because the other 2 books you can look through and you can read the stuff, but the adventure books you need to play through, I think.
Yeah.
To really get a good read on the adventure. Right, you need to play through it. So
it's true.
Maybe we'll play through it sometime.
Yeah. But that's it for now. Thanks everyone for watching once again and listening. Make sure to share the links to all of the podcast areas and to YouTube channel to get us a little bit more further in the world. But yeah, I think that's it. Anyone else got anything?
That's it this time.
All right. We'll catch you guys later. Thanks again. See you next time.